Washington Times front page for Monday, July 25th, 2022. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. The growing monkeypox outbreak has U.S. officials struggling to stop the spread of the disease in LGBTQ communities. The Biden administration and local leaders are walking a fine line as they try to catch up with surging cases, Tom Howell reports. Most monkeypox infections in the United States involve gay men, but health officials warn that anyone can catch the disease. Mounting cases and difficulty in accessing vaccines have led to frustration among advocates who fear the government isn't doing enough to stem the disease, which has little history in countries outside of Africa and features a painful rash. The World Health Organization over the weekend declared monkeypox a global health emergency, with more than 16,000 cases reported in 74 countries since May. The Biden administration is bolstering U.S. arms production to sustain the war in Ukraine and to support Taiwan in preparing to fend off a future invasion from China. Bill Gertz wraps up his coverage from the Aspen Security Conference, where National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the administration is urging Taiwan's political and military leaders to purchase arms that are better suited to fighting the Chinese military. Because of the need to produce more weapons faster, Sullivan said the Pentagon is working on ways to increase the capacity of the American defense industrial base to make sure weapons and other military equipment can be produced to deter adversaries. Staying in foreign affairs, Hungary's top diplomat is calling for immediate talks to end the war in Ukraine, asserting that all wars end up in negotiations and that the world should be focused on a way to achieve peace. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó bluntly denounced Russia's invasion of Ukraine in an interview with our Guy Taylor and openly spoke in support of Ukrainian territorial integrity. He attempted in the interview to thread a diplomatic needle by opposing the invasion, while stressing that Hungary cannot escape its dependence on Russian oil and gas. He said the security represents a definite red line for us. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of news, commentary, and sports podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. America's public schools are struggling with a wave of departures by COVID-fatigued teachers just weeks before the first day of class. Sean Salai reports the Memphis Shelby County school system recently held interviews for retired teachers looking to return to the classroom under a new Tennessee law. The 6,000 teacher district has 200 vacancies, less than 3 weeks before school begins. In Maryland, Montgomery County Public Schools has 400 teaching vacancies. According to the district, 1,070 teachers resigned or retired from September 1st to July 7th, a 38% increase from the same period in the 2020-2021 school year. Only 494 teachers left in the same period in 2018 to 2019. A February poll from the Maryland State Education Association found that 60% of educators were more likely to quit or retire earlier than they had planned because of the pandemic. The state teachers union said large class sizes contributed to increased stress. An effort is underway by Democratic activists to buy 18 Spanish-language radio stations. Stephen Dinan reports the group lining up the purchase is the Latino Media Network, run by Stephanie Valencia and Jess Morales Roqueto. They worked for former President Barack Obama and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on immigrants' rights issues. They're backed by $80 million in funding, including financing from Lakestar Finance, which has ties to Democratic activist George Soros. The network didn't respond to a request for comment, but the founders have made clear in interviews with other outlets that they consider battling disinformation to be a chief goal. The 18 stations in the deal cover 10 U.S. cities, including New York, Miami, Houston, Chicago, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. And finally, House Oversight and Reform Committee ranking member James Comer sits down for an interview with our Kerry Pickett. The two discuss potential upcoming investigations, including into President Biden's son Hunter, and people Comer is looking to target if he becomes committee chairman after the November elections. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.